If it was left above right, now there are people who are struggling. God help us. Intervention is coming. Don't worry. Good intervention is coming. Now just do the very opposite. Rule of thumb. If you want to know if you're doing the right thing to my second instruction, you must feel uncomfortable. So if you're feeling comfortable, do it again, please. Have we all done that? Now that discomfort, I want you to remember that discomfort. It's the kind of discomfort I want us to create in our Rotary life. That discomfort is a learning curve that we will all pick up. That discomfort is the sacrifice that each of you makes when you are not with your family, but you're doing Rotary service. Please remember that. Don't run away from that discomfort. Will you remember that? So every time you feel that discomfort, grow with it. Don't run away from it. Wonderful. But as we proceed, I just want to first appreciate one wonderful thing that's happening today. This is actually the charter for Rotary Club of Stoni Athi. And I was just reflecting on the timing of the dates. For those of you who know how well Liverpool has performed, is there anybody who understands what I'm talking about? Okay. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. It was very important. I know the president is wondering what this is all about. But the timing of the charter for Stoni Athi was when Liverpool got their title. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. But if you don't know, we'll give you another chance to reflect on that a little later when the news flash is reflected. Yeah. But a little about Rotary for those who are new. And I need us to remember a couple of points about Rotary. This is an extremely important organization. A couple of things that I just want us to remember. Yes. Very international in every way. In terms of club membership, we are talking about over 35,000 member clubs across the world. In terms of membership individuals, we are talking about 1.2 million and beyond. And what that means is you who are here, you're actually becoming a Rotarian, or you're already a Rotarian. And there's a very important role that you play. And the whole objective of Rotary is really about human service. Human service. Yeah, so for our friends also who are joining us online, whenever you hear Rotary and your interaction with Rotary, whether you're a friend of the family or you're a friend of Rotary, you need to know that what we do is human service, and our role is really to give both resources and to give our time. And the next speakers are going to touch on that. But I'd like to do a loyal toast. So I'll ask us to please charge our glasses. Please, let's charge our glasses. Let's charge our glasses. Let's all charge our glasses. Then I'll ask us just to stand. Once you've charged your glass, please stand. Let's just stand. Do you all have a glass? And this is a toast. Marcy, are we together? Are we all good? To the president, the good health of the president. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wonderful. We may have your seats. Now, as we talk about the club charter, there's one person who is very, very important to us in very many ways. And I'd like him to be the first person to come along and say a word or two. And this is my good friend, Rotarian Robert Tharao. But Robert, before you come, just come and stand here next to me, first of all. Robert is from the club that is sponsoring us, and I'll let him say a little about that. And that's the Rotary Club of Syokimau. Robert is the current president, although the way he's been counting the days to the end of his term, I think he has it wrong, but so he's still the president of the Rotary Club of Syokimau. This is one of the few people who came up with the idea, but I don't want to speak a lot about that for now, but we are very grateful to him. He's a family man. I am aware that he has daughters. If you ask me how I'm aware, it's because I have sons only. He's got a wonderful heart of service, and we thank you so much for that. And I know that his classification is in personal financial planning, and he's helped so many people. Money matters, and we thank you so much for that. I got to know Robert a lot of years ago when we didn't have white hair on our beards and we were not balding and we were not running home to our spouses. But here he is, and we thank God for all those three that we now have. Yes. So Robert, I'd like you to just have a chat with these people. Tell them a little, and thank you so much for what you have done. Your idea is coming to fruition. Talk to us.
Thanks a lot, Francis. Good afternoon again. First and foremost, for avoidance of doubt, for those who did not know, when we toasted, we did not toast to this president. We toasted to the President of the Republic of Kenya. Sometimes that gets lost when we are dealing with the new Rotarians. They think we are toasting to the club president. So normally we toast to the President of the Republic of Kenya. As you've heard, my name is Robert Tharao. I'm the president of Rotary Club of Syokimau. My time is almost coming to an end. Me and the DG will be retiring soon at the end of this month. But it gives me great pleasure today to basically just be among you people to witness this club being chartered. This club has been an idea for some time, but it was just that, an idea. So when I took over as the Rotary Club of Syokimau, this is one of the ideas that I really wanted to see come to fruition. So initially, some people volunteered to basically run with the idea. They did it for approximately a month. And somewhere along the way, they ran out of steam. And they never came back to me to tell me what happened. But I knew that the journey was difficult, so I excused them. So I decided the next time I approach this, it will have to be done a little bit differently. Aggrey and I have had a few interactions outside Rotary. Aggrey is a good friend of mine, also happens to be one of my clients. And I decided I'll drop this bombshell outside the club when we're in a restaurant. So I waited until Aggrey had had a nice meal, and I brought up the idea of starting this club. Those of you who have interacted with Aggrey know that Aggrey will never give you a straight answer. He will always require time to think about it. So he told me, this one is heavy. I need time to think about this. But he told me this is difficult. This one, I need a lot of time to think about it. I was already accustomed to that answer from Aggrey. But what I like about Aggrey is that when he tells you he'll think about it, he will always think about it. You will receive a few calls late in the night. I think that is when he thinks best. And you'll need to answer a few questions. So of course I answered questions for a few days, and the final answer came that I will only take this challenge if you can find me a strong person that I will approve who can work with me and see this through. I told him I actually know such a person. The only problem is that the person that I knew had not consulted him. And the person had just retired from being the president of a club. And for those of you, I know there are very few, probably Dr. Joe and our DG, they're the ones who would know after you retire from being a club president, you want to take a break of approximately a year from Rotary matters. So this gentleman had already told me, Robert, I've retired from Rotary. For the next 1 year, my contribution in Rotary will be doing rounds in different clubs, seeing how they do things, learning a few things from them, giving talks also in the clubs about security, and enjoy being a Rotarian. I'll also just be coming to the club to listen. So he had told me in no uncertain terms that those will be his contribution in Rotary. And here I was giving a commitment that this is a person who will run with you. So I told Aggrey, we will need to talk to Major Boke. But please do not let the cat out of the bag. We'll need to approach him after he has eaten. So we waited until we had a function at Rotary Club of Embakasi, when Embakasi was being formed, was being chartered rather. Aggrey and I were able to waylay Major Boke, and we waited until he had enjoyed his meal. And when he looked like he was now very happy to sit down and now rest and enjoy the occasion, we started having a chat around forming a club. And of course, he was very comfortable because he did not know what will follow. And as the conversation progressed, of course, the bombshell was dropped that we were looking at starting a club, and we were hoping that he could also be one of the people who will work with the Aggrey to form that club. What surprised us is that he did not require a lot of convincing. The only thing he asked is, how many people have you discussed this with? And we told him, you are our first person to discuss with. Do you have a venue? Unfortunately, we don't have one, and we are hoping you can get us one. So that is how the journey started. And I'm happy to see that today we are seated here with all of you beautiful people and handsome men that some of you had not met before. Some of you are meeting for the first time. And basically to just see this idea become a reality. One of the things I'm happy about is that there is no day that I ever met Aggrey and he told me that this has been very difficult. I'm now thinking about giving up. It actually went opposite. I was now getting fire of running Syokimau from Aggrey, from the things that he was doing in Stoni Athi. I've had, the privilege of meeting a lot of you guys when we were still meeting before COVID, and I really liked the energy that I've been seeing in this club. So I believe as we go by, Syokimau, this is where we'll be drawing our fire from. You guys, you have a long way to go, but the future looks bright. I love a lot about Rotary. Those of you who have been there for some time, I know you've enjoyed listening to very many speakers, and you can see the excitement that is in Rotary, and the opportunities also for giving back that is in Rotary. So thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity. I'll request you to all clap for me as I sit down. Sometimes we don't take chances.
Thank you so much. Rotarian Robert Tharau, thank you so much in very many fronts. We are all beneficiaries of an idea, and an idea is just an idea until someone actually sits down and implements it. At the back of my mind, I start thinking about who else are they sitting and discussing. I don't know if you've thought about that. Can you imagine? Can you imagine when 3 wise men or 4 wise men or plus a lady sit and discuss you? What do you think will happen? Maybe you'll be setting up another club brand. Anyway, I'm not talking about that now. I'm going to ask Mercy. Mercy, come say hello and then take us forward.
Good afternoon again. I'll introduce myself again. My name is Mercy Washington, and I'm formerly of Rotary Club of Syokimau. Tharau has been my president for some time, and I think we've become good friends, haven't we? I think so too. And then I am here to introduce a very special person to me, also a friend. And I'm going to introduce him in 3 fronts. First front is family-wise. He claims to be married for 20 years. I'm not sure. Men are never sure. So I'd have to ask his spouse. He has 3 sons. I believe that's true. And his last born son is just about done with his high school education. So I could call him an old man, but I won't. And he recently moved from Syokimau to rural Kajiado. Rural Kajiado in a place called, what's the name of that place? Nkorompoi. Can you imagine that? Yeah, find out where that is on Google Maps, if Google Map knows. So I think that's his, in a nutshell, his family and his personal life. In his professional life, he's a CEO of Jeff Hamilton Group. So I'm reading, but I'm also introducing him the way I know him. Before he was in Jeff Hamilton, I worked with him somewhere else, and he was my boss. And let's just say He was a military man, and I was not. So after he left, I also left there. He formed a company. I went on to work elsewhere, and we met again. I was his relationship manager, coincidence or not. Then just a bit later, he moved from the company that he had left and started his own company, Jeff Hamilton. This is very personal. It's among the best business outsourcing companies in the country, but that's personal. He does labor and cleaning solutions and just labor outsourcing in Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, and now Rwanda. And he serves also in several boards. One is Mavuno Church in Kitengela. The other one is a school in Nyabikongori. That's, I think, at the border of Kenya and somewhere. And also Nyaroha Girls, which is, I think, also at the border of Kenya and somewhere else. And then additionally, he also serves as a board member at the Private Security Industry Association, which is the largest private security industry association in Kenya, and FMS Africa, the largest asset management company in Kenya. That's his career in a nutshell. It doesn't even begin to state where he has come from or where he's going as a career man. In Rotary, he's a Paul Harris Fellow and is a Paul Harris Fellow. You will ask Francis what that is. He's the immediate past president of Rotary Club of Syokimau. Fun fact, he inducted me to Rotary Club of Syokimau, and me and one more person in this team. And he is a district governor special representative for Rotary Club of Stoni Athi. Kumaanisha ana represent district yetu kutusaidia kuform club yetu. Yes. Major enjoys food. There's a whole paragraph to that, but it just speaks to one thing. He enjoys food. He says he enjoys kuku kienyeji, wet fry with pilipili, kwa umbali, saga, and plantain. But I think it's just food. He also loves jogging and has climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, Longonot, among other. Major is passionate about fair treatment, and he's also passionate about minimum wage staff. And I think that's evident from the company that he runs. I happen to do business with the company that he runs, and he's very military when it comes to his staff. You had better mess with anyone else, but just don't mess with his staff. And I admire that about him, and I pick that about him as I run my own company. And please all clap and help me to introduce our DGSR, Major Boke Kitangita.
Thank you, Mercy. Thank you. I can guess your other bosses from the way they smiled when you said that. And I think one of them was sitting next to me. Am I right? That could be. Okay. Good afternoon. How are you doing? Good to see you all. Jackie, I'm very excited to see you, that you could join Charles. Jackie is a very good friend of mine, and also she is an amazing author. So Jackie, asante sana kwa kuja leo. So as my good friend Mercy has said, it is true, Mercy, I've been married for more than 20 years, so it's a fact. You can check on Google. I'm a father of 4, not 3. So I have 4 sons. My firstborn son is 25. He's an HR practitioner. My second-born son is 22. He's studying IT at KU. My third-born son is 19. He's studying finance at Strathmore. And my last-born son is called Jeff. So he's the one who gave us the name for the business that I run, and he's 17. 5 years ago, I met a lady called Katie Herin Adhiambo Simba, who happens to be a club trainer. And Katie invited me to join Rotary. By then, she was serving as the Service Projects Director for Rotary Club of Syokimau, and I joined. And I quickly grew through the ranks to become the President-elect and the President, for which I serve as the IPP now. So William Muli handed over to me, and I handed over to the good gentleman, President Mukabi Tharau. And he was right when I said I really wanted to retire, but then he recalled me from retirement. And as a good Rotarian, I accepted the recall. While at Syokimau, to return Katie's favor, I invited 4 people to join Katie at Syokimau. Well, the first gentleman I invited was called Dan Mututo, who later became the charter president of Embakasi, and is the president as we speak. The second gentleman I invited is Aggrey Mukolwe, who is now today becoming charter president of this club. The other lady I invited is Mercy Murioki, who is now our president-elect. And the last person I invited to join Syokimau was Francis Ouma Odhiambo, who is our service projects director. So it looks like I have a good choice of people that I invite. Because out of the 4, 2 already president, 1 is on track to become president. So when Mukabi requested me to support my good friend Aggrey, I invited very many friends to join this club, and I'm happy to see a good number of them today. One of them is the good doctor and the MD for Halisi, Dr. Njeri Okelo, Mercy Murunga, who works for community, my good friend Harriet, who is a prominent businesswoman, and a number of people who are not here today, including Macharia Waganjo, who is a prominent lawyer, John Mwangi, our PR director, Martin Mumina, also a prominent businessman who is not here today, Charles Kado, who is very accomplished in NGO, and Jackie Otude, who is my colleague at Jeff Hamilton. And I'm happy that we could come and walk this journey together. Because in so doing, then we make the world a better place. And I was humbled when DG Jotin appointed me to be his representative to this club. And I hope Aggrey will have a few good things to say about me, just to improve my profile when he later gives his speech. And I'm also happy that the incoming DG, Patrick Obath, saw it wise to appoint me an assistant governor, a role which I'll start taking up on first. Throughout my 5-year journey, I think I've really enjoyed Rotary. I've fellowshipped in a number of clubs in this city, including Dr. Joe's Club, Nairobi East, Milimani, Magharibi, Hurlingham, Madaraka, Karen, Ngong, Embakasi, Machakos, Emali, Kitengela, and my mother clubs, Syokimau and now Stoni Athi. In Uganda, I've fellowship with Chiwatule, Kampala, and Kampala City. And in Rwanda, I've fellowship with a club called Virunga, which is the only English-speaking club in Rwanda. I've met good friends, I've met wonderful people, and my perspective for life has changed through this journey. I've learned to manage or to work with volunteers, because Rotarians are very accomplished people in their own spheres, and they're very headstrong on what they believe in. And my experience is that when you eventually become a president for a Rotary club, the skills you employ are pretty different. And I think I learned that the hard way at Syokimau. But I was sharing with Joe, DG Joe earlier. He was just telling us with Daktari on his experience as DG, which comes to an end shortly. He said that he accomplished a lot of things as DG, which I agree. I think we've had a lot of new clubs, and our membership are short. And the district is in a better place than when he took it up. But that he learned most in the things that he failed in, or the things that he didn't do as much. And I think that was my biggest lesson in Syokimau, that in the things that that didn't work well, that is where I learned most. And I think it was leading volunteers or leading people you actually don't have authority over. And that has made me an excellent CEO today. I think it's a training that I will not get in any business school in the world. So I'm pretty grateful about my experience this short in Rotary. While I was president for Syokimau, we organized a medical camp, and we liaised with government. And guess who? The person who government gave me to work with is Dr. Njeri Okelo. Then she was working for government. Now she runs her own hospital. So also Rotary just taught me how to interact with government, and it can be very complex, those who've worked with government. But Njeri, you are very gracious. So I wish to say thank you. I've learned that we can actually make the world a beautiful place if we choose to pull together. And I think Rotary gives us that framework to pull together so that our little efforts become bigger efforts, and that there's a structure that we all trust and that can live post us. So as you all start this journey, my encouragement is to tell you that it's a beautiful journey. It's a wonderful journey if you choose to make it so. I encourage us to support our charter president, President Aggrey Odhiambo Mukolwe, because you only become president for a year. So it means eventually we'll all become presidents. And I've also learned in Rotary that you get as much love as you give. That when you support people, they support you back. I think Aggrey really supported me when I was president and he was the FD. I think I've supported him most. I think I've been his mutu wa mkono. So I think the more we support him, the more it's like investing in your own future. So I encourage us to support him and support his board, for which I am happy to serve on as his speaker secretary. Let's respond to WhatsApp mails when he posts and seeks our opinion. Let's attend our meetings so that we are available to progress the club agenda. And certainly we'll be discouraged at certain times, but let's not give up. Let's keep the journey. And finally, I wish to thank President Tarau for this vision. The support President Tarau has given us. I think at one point, Charter President Aggrey and I were asking, is Tarau in Rotary Club of Syokimau or in Rotary Club of Stoni Athi? I think he attended ours most than his own club. I think he was more committed to us, which I thought was a beautiful thing. So President Tarau, I just want to say thank you on behalf of the DG for the amazing support that you gave us. And in your retirement, you are welcome to fellowship with us. It's actually near your place. And a fun fact is that Tarau is my neighbor. He stays behind me in Korompoi. And Mercy, just to clarify, you are calling it wrongly. It is called, the neighborhood we stay in is called the Riverine, Kenya. Just for clarity. But it is located in Korompoi, near Professor George Saitoti's residence. Not very far. And the president for Syokimau is our neighbor. And Dr. Njeri. And Mercy Murunga. So usiongee mbaya, tunaweza hama to form Rotary Club of Korompoi. Usiongee mbaya. So thank you very much, President Tarau. I know tomorrow I have a date at your installation. I think I'll have more to say in the installation of President Isabella tomorrow. And you're all invited at, it's called what, near 67? Tommy's Lunch. So you're all invited around lunchtime. But asante sana. Then secondly, I wish to thank President Aggrey. I think you've done an amazing job. Let's appreciate it. Running a club is not easy. Forming one is much harder. And I think you've kept the faith. You used to call me at night, DG, just to tell you, like, when we were 19, it was easier moving from 1 to around 19. Then when we got to 19 and we were looking for the 20th person, it was just not happening. And he was very committed to have this charter this year. So people just kept coming in and we are not getting to 20. And we knew we need to get to 25. So when we got to 20, we just said, just apply. They will agree. And that is what happened. So we just applied, and luckily enough, we got the charter. So well done. I wish you well. I think you have an excellent support system. Tarau is here. I'm here. So we can work with you. And in my culture, when you celebrate people, you give him a drink called Obosara. Obosara is a Kuria drink. If you visited a Kuria homestead and you asked for water, they will not give you water. because that will construe that they're not blessed. So they'll give you Obusara, you drink it, then now they give you water. Obusara is, it's almost alcoholic, but not alcoholic. So you'll not get drunk taking it, because even kids are allowed to take it. So I requested my niece to make for me Obusara, but because I knew you'll not appreciate it, so I just decided to get wine for you. So I have a bottle of wine for you. You can just come for it now. You want to join me as we hand it? And lastly, I'll just thank all of us for walking this journey together. I think it's been a beautiful journey, but I still wish to single one person who has worked with the president most, who is your president-elect, Mercy Mulyoki Washington. I think Mercy has been very innovative and supportive. And I appreciate all of us, but I just wanted to say thank you. When we started, we had no place to meet. She went talking to several hotels to agree to host us. So Koloho agreed to host us, later Best Western, and you've done an amazing work. I think mine is just to encourage you to start planning for your presidency now. 12 months are not as long as they look. With those many remarks, I wish to introduce the president before I invite the DG to come and do the honors. So this gentleman called Aggrey Odhiambo Mukolwe is married to a fine lady called Betty. He's a father of two. A beautiful daughter called Zawadi, who is 13, and a son called Travis. And Zawadi is an IT guru. So whenever the president is chairing meetings on Zoom, Zawadi is normally just on the background, just to show the father how to talk and how to position himself. And I later learned that actually she even brings light and puts powder on his face so that it's more visible. Because it's pretty dark, so in Zoom you can't see him. You'll just see a shadow. I'm allowed to throw stones, kidogo. So he's an accomplished engineer. He's worked with several excellent organizations. I think the last one he worked with was NAS Plastics, which later changed his name to Precision, on Enterprise Road. He was a factory manager there for a long time. And then later he moved, now he works with Sunpack, which is my client. And he works there as factory manager. And he's pretty accomplished in that field. And I know he has ambitions of starting his own establishment, for which already he's working on. And we wish you well. We'll definitely consume the plastics that you make. His traction engineering is mechanical engineering, which he studied from the Kenya Polytechnic in the 90s, now Technical University of Kenya. And he's been involved in design and introduction of maintenance-free battery casings in Kenya, which are very famous, with a sister company to NAS, which is called, Chloride Exide. The two are sister companies. He says that if you love takeouts, you can bet 100% that you'll definitely use plastics in those takeouts. They also make plastics cutlery, which is famous with NAS, which is a sister company. And I've already said that currently works with Sandpark. Sandpark is around 1 kilometer from here. And during this COVID period, they've been pretty busy just ensuring that most of the things that we use, like edible oils and stuff, have great packaging from what they make. He's very widely traveled. Actually, when we served with him on board at Syokimau, he was permanently either in Taiwan or Italy. But he's been to all the continents except Australia. And yes, his favorite destination is Italy and Taiwan. He's been there for more than between 15 to 20 times. He enjoys sampling exotic flavors and visiting popular historical sites. I didn't know that. I thought he just loves ugali and ingoho, as is famous from where he comes from. He's a Christian of faith, and we go together at Mavuno Church. He's been a Rotarian for 3 years. He's been a treasurer twice, or the finance director for Rotary Club of Syokimau, and he's still the current serving finance director for President Mukabi Tarau. So he retires in a few days on that role. So he's both president here and also the FD for Syokimau. Loves outdoors and loves gardening. On this one I can confirm. If you visit his home in Sabaki, the flowers, they have to be on one line, straight like this. So if there's a flower, like pale mbele, be like, hey, Major, I think that. Now, me am OCD. Now him, they need to devise a new thing to explain him. Like when we'll go to Best Western, because we'll appear there, Mercy, Prezo, and me. We'll always be there like 2 hours before everyone, every Wednesday. So we'll go there. The room is very well arranged. As in, Mercy and me are just enjoying our coffee. Then Prezo will be like, hey, Major, that chair. I think it is off. Yeah. And because Mercy is a lady, so the only mtu wa mkono na yeye ni Prezo, ni mimi. So it was just a way of saying, hebu panga ile kiti. But he's just pretending, saying, anyway, I was happy. I was happy doing that work. I only hope it stops now. Then the table. Lazima ifanywe nini? Yani, let me tell you. Prezo, I wish you well. Na hiyo OCD. I wish you well. Even his home. Where? That's a visit. You know you need to host us in your home as president. So we will discuss when we are at his home. Because the last time he hosted us, it was on behalf of Rotary Club of Syokimau. Sasa tunataka ya Stoni Athi. Let me tell you, just as I close, Malio CD yake imefika. Hii ni gossip, eh? So, nyinyi kwenu muko na maji water tank kiasi gani? How much water do you need to survive? Like 5,000. 6,000. So if you are crazy like Macharia Waganjo, it's like 10,000. Sindio? See, you, and he only has a family of 2 and a wife. See, you just need like 10,000. He has 35,000 raised water. Then he has another one, karibu 30,000 underground. 80. Then he tells me, imagine as Aisha. Sindio? I'm like, dude, imagine Aisha. You can even supply to your neighbors. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you your charter president. Karibu sana Aggrey. Karibu sana. DG, you can join us. Joe, you can also join us as the DG does the honors.
All right, to the District Governor Special Representative, Major Boke, thank you so much for that wonderful speech and for a wonderful introduction of the President. To the other presidents in the House, Robert, it's been a pleasure working together for the last year. You know, it's such a wonderful, wonderful pleasure, and I'm so pleased that you've been able to produce this club. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. The district membership chairman, Dr. Joe Kamau. I mean, our district has performed probably the best that it's ever performed in membership. And this is the man that is behind it, Dr. Joe Kamau. So thank you so much for that. And I have to admit, now that the confessions are being made, when the club was chartered with 20 members, first person I called was Dr. Joe, and I said, Dr. Joe, who did we appoint as the DGSR? And he says it's Major Bokeh. Then I said, didn't we brief him that we can't charter a club that is under 25 members? And Joe said, it must have been my mistake. So then we said, okay, well, I guess sometimes things slip. But now we've just heard that you knew it was under 25, and you still sent it through, and you created problems for us. You know, we have now to explain to the Council of Governors why we allowed a club to be chartered under 25. But anyway, it's such a pleasure to be here today. And it gives me great pleasure to be able to preside over the charter ceremony of this club. And we were quite happy with Zurich, the Rotary staff in Zurich, when we sent them the documentation. In a very short time, they came back with the charter document signed by the RI president, and it only becomes official when I sign it as the district governor. So I think the first part is that we need to first of all ensure that the mother club has delivered the instruments of authority. So are the instruments of authority here? The bell and the chain? Okay. And then do we have, how many of the board members are here? If you're a board member, just put up your hand. Okay, all right. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this is first of all, I am going to induct the president. After inducting the president, then he will have the authority to hold this charter certificate in his hands. All right, so Aggrey, you have been elected to be the charter president, a very special role for this club, this new club of Stoni Athi, which was chartered on the 4th of June 2020. You have been selected because the members believe that your leadership skills, your compassion and your ability will be able to drive the club through the first year. Do you promise that you will uphold the Constitution of Rotary International and of this Rotary Club for the next 12 months?
Yes, I promise.
Will you lead this club to the best of your ability, listening to the members and ensuring that you are catering to their needs and aspirations?
Yes, I will.
Will you hold this role for the next 12 months or until a successor has been chosen and installed in your stead?
Yes, I will.
Then it gives me great pleasure to give you the instruments of your authority, which are the chain. So allow me to place this chain on your, around you. Okay, my coffee. Mr. President, Mr. Charter President, this is a symbol of your authority. And when you run your club meetings or preside any serious business of the Rotary Club, you will wear your chain so that every member of your club will know who the authority is, and any visiting Rotarian will also know that you are presiding over the meetings for this ensuing year. I will now hand over to you the gavel and the bell. The gavel and the bell are the other symbol of your authority. And you ring the bell to call the meeting to order, and you ring the bell to call off the meeting. And so now I request that you ring this meeting to order for the first time. And when your successor has been elected and installed, you will hand over the instruments of authority to them, but also you will transfer the learning and the institutional knowledge that you have and that your board has been able to gain throughout that year. And so now it gives me a lot of pleasure to offer you, as the president, as the charter president of the Rotary Club of Stoni Athi, to give you this certificate, and I'll read. This certifies that the Rotary Club of Stoni Athi, Kenya, having been duly organized and having agreed through its officers and members to be bound by the Constitution and bylaws of Rotary International, which agreement is evidenced by the acceptance of this certificate, is now a duly admitted member of Rotary International and is entitled to all the rights and the privileges of such membership. In witness thereof, the signatures of its officers duly authorized to subscribe hereto this 4th day of June 2020. Admission to membership of Rotary International recommended by District Governor, that's me, and the Rotary International President, Mark Maloney. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure, and please join me in as I give this certificate to the Charter President, Aggrey. It gives me great pleasure to give this to you, and I know that you will do a wonderful job. You can count on the fullest support of myself and of the Executive Committee of Rotary in this district. Thank you very much, and God bless you. And now, may I request that the board members please come forward. And we'll have to figure it out how we will stand with the social distancing. Okay, to the board members. Once again, thank you to the Mother Club and the President, Robert Tharao, for making sure that this club came to be. Thank you to the DGSR for a splendid job and for the dedication and commitment to seeing this club through this year. And to the new board members, you have been elected to this role because the membership believes that you have the ability and the skill to carry this club through for the next 12 months. And so I would like to ask you, will you, together with the President, uphold the Constitution and the bylaws of Rotary International and of this club for the next 12 months? Will you support the work of the President to the best of your ability for the next 12 months? And will you hold this role and hand it over to your successor when they have been elected and installed? Then it is my pleasure to pronounce you all as the board of the Rotary Club of Stoni Athi. Let's give them a warm round of applause. Thank you very much, and I think you may take your seats so that the President can give us his address and his vision.
Mtu wa mkono. Thank you. I was warned by my wife. I was told to make sure I read my notes. Otherwise, I would have responded to Major. Thank you for the good introduction. Thank you, DG. Thank you, Dr. Joe. President Tarao, thank you. Good afternoon, and a very big welcome to all of you. It's great to see many Rotarians and friends, both physically and online. Finally, we get to meet the faces and the names of fellow club members who've been behind the screens. Today is my first time to meet Dr. Njeri in person, Harriet, and also Brian Oguk in person. It's also worth noting that not everyone will attend this celebration physically. It is exciting to have like minds come together with a common goal, who have looked at themselves in the mirror and decided to be the change and make the change around us better and make the world a better place. It is indeed a great day today. This afternoon, the theme is denim. It's actually my first time I'm wearing denim, a full suit. But the history of denim in the world is a story for another day, dating back to 1873. In today's world, denim is a versatile piece of garment that's strong, sturdy, functional, and can withstand all occasion. And when you see us in one, just know it's definitely going down. So my friends, in preparation of the work ahead of our comfortable in our comfortable pieces of garments, let's have an enjoyable time. Thank you all for honoring us with your presence here this afternoon. Let us ensure that our social distancing rules are maintained as per the Ministry of Health guidelines, and keep everyone safe. We should remember, if we treat this disease normally, this disease will treat us abnormally. So, what is Charter in today's context? Simple, a celebration of several things. Recognize the Rotary journey. Recognize that there are so many of us out there who want to be part of a meaningful process to give back to the society. Recognize that we may not all have it, but we recognize the challenges that we have around us and will not sit and wait for solutions, but will be part of the solution. We can look at it in many ways, but it's a night to recognize the new journey that we have started together. So how did we start? You've all had a preview of what Robert has said. Some time back last year, President Robert Tarao, President of Syokimau, came to me and said, Aggrey, one of the club goals for our district is to increase membership by 50%. From the look of things and the way we are going, by the trends, we may only have 2 or 3 people at the end of June. We've been talking at the board about forming a new club, and I would like you to be part of the team who will make it happen. There's a huge potential around Sabaki area where you live, all the way to Green Park and Lukenya. I'd love to say I looked at Tarao and said, I will serve at the mercy of the president. But that's not the case. As he also has explained, I told him, I'll think about it. Give me a week. This was my second term as a club treasurer at RC Syokimau, and I was certain that at the end of the term, I would not take a board position. I expressed the same to him and many other reasons why I wanted out. We agreed that I would revert to him at least after a week. By end of October, we were seated at Koloho restaurant, the restaurant near Great Wall, Mercy, Major, Robert Tarao, and myself. And this was going to be the venue of our new club. So it means I agreed. The result was this amazing team and the people with great energies. We are 20 members from diverse classifications, and today we hoped to be inducting Angela, but she's not able to be here today because of work demands. Through the engagement of highly ethical professional business, professionals, business people, and community leaders with remarkable diversity, and with sincere efforts of individuals, members, we are ready to take up the challenges and responsibilities that come along with the right to serve the community and make the difference. In the coming days, we shall be launching our strategy aligned with our district's 2020-2023 strategic priorities. Priority number 1, increase our impact. Priority number 2, expand our reach. Priority number 3, enhance participant engagement. And then priority number 4, which is increase our ability to adapt. We have identified a few low-hanging fruits, and we have started now, and builds on to our 2021 goals and vision. One of these is giving to the foundation. To this end, RC Stoni Athi is currently running a challenge to raise 3,000 USD in 2021 towards Rotary Foundation. We already have 3 commitments for PHFs. We also are working on, we actually have committed as a club $100 US, and this will be coming in support also for Rotary Foundation, and we hope that we can appeal to guys online and even the people here, our guests here, who can support us to support this, to surpass this target. There's a low-hanging fruit that I saw also in the strategy, and this will be an award for the best branded club in the district every month. I know we are able to clinch this, going by the discussions that we are having in our WhatsApp WhatsApp led by PR Director John Maru, Waringa, Wanjeri, and PE Mercy. Just recently, I think we are able to attain this. Our signature fundraising activity, as you note from our logo, will be an annual outdoor 4x4 challenge, where we shall bring out Rotarians and friends of Rotary to a weekend of fun and flair. We have unlimited opportunity together with the Rotary Club of Athi River, who is a neighbor, the Athi River Information, Rotary Club of Kitengela, and also the Rotary Club of Syokimau, our mother club, to work with the communities around us through active engagement of our members with the same vision, with all our members in the same vision, which is together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe in our communities and in ourselves. It's also with great satisfaction that we note the limitless opportunity to learn more and increase our own knowledge through interactions with the community that will come along throughout our Rotary journey. It will be remiss of me not to acknowledge the support that you, RT, President Robert Tarao, and the entire membership of Syokimau has given us. Let's give him a hand. A heartfelt gratitude to the members of the Rotary Club of Stoni Athi, led by PE Mercy, who have worked tirelessly with sincere commitment and lots of enthusiasm to make this ceremony a success. Let's give them a hand of applause. Club members will agree with me that there couldn't be a better choice of the district governor's special representative in the person of Major Boke. Thank you. I will also be doing the team an injustice if I don't acknowledge our club trainer, who's here with us but online, all the way from Khartoum, Katie Siba. We are further encouraged by the support and oversight and advice that we've received from the district's leadership. District Member Chair, Dr. Joe Kamau, thank you. Above all this, DG Governor Joe Team, thank you very much. Service earns significance, and I'd like to leave you with the words of Martin Luther King Jr., who said, "Not everyone can be famous, but everyone can be great, because greatness is determined by service." God bless you. I need to introduce my board.
Wonderful. Let's give him another round of applause. Wonderful. Major, I wanted you to introduce our district chair, membership chair, so that he can introduce. Yes, please. Yes, I think it's okay. It's very fitting that you do the introduction before he comes in.
Okay. I would have loved President. You want to do the honors? You've already thought? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Joe didn't send me a bio, but I know Joe. I always tell people that if I was not in Rotary Club of Syokimau, I think Tarau knows, I'll be a member of Rotary Club of Nairobi East. I think my largest frame of friends in Rotary come from Nairobi East. And I got to know Rotary long before I joined Rotary, through the likes of CK, Karoki Mtai, Dana Wendo, Moses Maura, and that group of people. And then there was also FK of Muthaiga North, yeah. So that's where I met Joe. And I think Joe was a very critical support for me when I was president at Syokimau. Joe and my AG then, Aaron Gikera, was a very good support net for me, together with the names that I've mentioned. And when we started our meetings, the first people to agree to speak to her was Joe, and your talk to us was very enlightening. I look forward, because you are still the membership chair, to invite you again more, because we have both Athi River information, and us, and the Mali that is struggling. So I think there'll still be need for a lot of talk and mentorship from senior Rotarians of your legs. I'll be reaching out to you to talk to us. Joe runs a business in telecommunication that does content mainly within airlines and shipping lines. Do you call it vessels? The first time he told me what he does, I struggled to understand, but now I understand. He's gone to school vizuri, until that place where in Africa imesema no education beyond here. So he's a holder of a doctoral degree, and earlier was sharing how he's very excited to supervise his PhD and master's student. Joe, I dropped out of PhD. It was very hard. I hope through your speech today you'll encourage me to to go back. Joe has been a past president of Rotary Club of Nairobi East. He served as a district secretary, a role that now is being held by Tito Tadeo from his club. He's also served as the chair of the District Convention Assembly, and currently is the district membership chair, which means it's in his role to ensure that the district numbers grow. And while at it, because I'll not get any other opportunity, I wish us to appreciate DG Joe Tin for the huge number of growth in membership and clubs. We were talking earlier, and in his year as DG, he's chartered over 21 clubs, or thereabouts. And our numbers have grown to hit 3,000. And I was just informing it that that is not reflecting on Rotary Central, but I think now it does. And it couldn't have happened without Dr. Joe Kamau. Yeah. So therefore, it gives me a lot of pleasure to invite Daktari to speak to us. Karibu sana, Daktari.
Good afternoon. Okay, you can hear me with the mask? No. I'll tell you why. I'll leave it on. About 3 months ago, when the COVID first few cases were announced, our DG, your team, he formed a team called Rotary District 9212 Emergency Response Team. Our mandate was simple. Do whatever you can to stop the spread of COVID. Join the forces with the government, the private sector, and many, many individuals who are doing the same thing. So we've called upon Rotarians to support us. We formed a committee. And as soon as we started, we got this mail from Ministry of Internal Security saying that there has been some fracas because of uncoordinated distribution of food. So he gave us some very strict guidelines. And he said, for you to be allowed to go distribute the food or any donation, you must adhere to those guidelines. And I signed to those guidelines. One of them was, anytime you're in public, you must wear a mask. So, as I stand in front of you, as the chair of that committee, I think only a few of us are complying, maybe 3. And public means, no, wear, not carry. Wear, not carry. On a very serious note, that's what the guidelines say. So if you allow me, if I wear the mask, cannot breach my own commitment to the government. But as I stand here, I'm very happy to see the charter of this new club. On July 1st, 2019, the DG, Joe Tin, he gave us a very big task, me and the membership team, to grow the membership by 50%. Let me give you the numbers. We were 2,333, July 1st, 2019. 50% of that number is 1,075. It's no mean task. If you look at the last 4 years, in fact, the last few years, no growth has netted more than 200 net. However, the way he put the team up, we knew we are going to get his support. And I can tell you, it's because of his support that now the numbers have gone up the way we are. I think we're about 70% of our target. This COVID-19, this slowed our momentum. We were surely going to get to our target of 50% growth. But as you've heard, we've been able to open up certain new clubs, even the ones that never existed before in the new club models. So thank you so much for your support, DG. Let me first of all address all the members of this club, starting with the president. From today henceforth, when you introduce yourself, Mr. President, you're not just Mr. President, you are the charter president. There are other presidents, and there are very few who are charter presidents, so you hold that special title. And for all the members who have been chartered here today, don't say, I'm a member of Stoni Athi. You proudly say, I'm a charter member of Stoni Athi. I'll talk very briefly about what is happening in the membership worldwide. Recently, RI created what we call flexibility in clubs, flexibility in fellowship, and the idea was to create more vibrancy, to create Rotary more fun, and of course, when you have those two, you have retention. What we are trying to do, and it's happening now as we are talking, and I'm very glad that people have joined Rotary at this time when there is so much happening, and it's so flexible. The rigid systems that were there before have been abolished. The president and his board and their members, they can decide we're not going to have fellowships every week. We're going to vary the way we do our meetings. Maybe once a month, you can say we're going to have a party, a social, you want to call it that way. We're going to have a meeting offsite. At the time of inducting new members, You don't have to follow the traditional way. You know, it has to be in a room when you're meeting. Take them out offsite and do it there. You can decide you don't want to meet every week, although it's advisable, and say we'll meet twice a month, and maybe one of the other 2 weeks left, do something different. Or you can even say, among your members, create a cluster, a small little cluster, a group. How many members do you have? You say 20 officially. So you can see you're going to have 4 groups or 5 groups. So each group will be hosting us for one of those weeks within the month. Where they take you, what they do with you, is upon them. Maybe they even surprise you. The purpose of all this is to create fun to Rotary without losing the core mandate and the core business of being service-oriented, paying your dues, all those things. So think about it. The other thing about flexibility is when members join, the new members, try and find out what is it they're looking for. Who are they joining? Is it for friendship? You know, some people get lonely and they want to associate themselves with groups that are dynamic and fun like Rotary. Is it for networking, for business? So see how you can fit into all those needs and reasons. If you look at the cultures of different clubs, they're all very different. If you go to Nairobi East, it's obviously very different from Club X somewhere else. Over time, the culture defines how the club is run, the activities they do, and why members join there. We also have what we call different models of clubs. And now that you are started today, start thinking we need to have a Rotary club. Of course, you don't have one yet. So look at institutions near you. Of course, you have Daystar, not very far, and see how maybe you can charter them. Look at, I don't know which other institutions are nearby. It does not have to be institution-based. It can also be based in the community. And as you invite speakers, invite someone to talk to you about forming a Rotary club, either institution-based or community-based. Think also about the gaps that exist. Possibly, there is another opportunity for a new club somewhere there. Just think about it. And now, because we've got this flexibility, we can even have a church-based club. I think you're both members of Mavuno. It's called Mavuno, I'm sorry. Yes. The course-based clubs is a club like this one, but members have got something in interest, common interest. Could be a hobby. A hobby could be jogging. It could be mountain hiking. Could be bikers. Could be racing cars. So they come together. As they do their passion, the riding and all that, at the end of it, they still meet and do the community projects. And they pay the dues. It's exactly like this, but the format is different. And the members don't lose the friendships of each other, because sometimes if you approach very close-knit groups, you say, we ought to go to a children's home with my Shama or with my book club members, which is very good. But when you join Rotary, you're joining a much, much bigger group, much more wealthy in terms of the grants you can get. If you have a group of 20 book lovers, you meet once a month, you go to a children's home, your funding is so limited. But if you are a member of a club called Nairobi Book Club, you can do a grant up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. So imagine, and there is no limit. Each one of us can come together and form a course-based club, even where you live, even where Mr. DJ Sal, you said you live, but you have a neighbor. Maybe there's a big compound, and you can come together and say, why not have a small satellite club? Satellite meaning it's a daughter or a son to Stoni Athi. Could be 10 of you. And they can worship there. They can fellowship there. They don't have to come physically to Stoni Athi. That's the meaning of a satellite. So look at it that way. Let's create fun. Let's expand Rotary as much as you can. Sorry. And of course, there is what we call hybrid. You can have, allow members, those who can't make it, they can go to any of these cost-based clubs. They can now join online. Okay, for now, obviously, all of us are online. So there's a lot of flexibility, and the idea is to make it fun. Make it a lot of fun. Let me give you an example. When I went to a club in Paris some time back, and it's a very interesting club. As you walk in, I saw people passing a ball, like a little tennis ball. They was having games. And I was wondering, I know what is happening. Am I in the right place? But of course, they all speak in French. So I asked somebody whether this is the club of, that name. He told me, yes. Told me, come on and just join us. Told me to give me a place to stand. They threw the ball at me. Of course, I threw it back to them, And it is telling you, people have got different ways of capturing the audience, creating fun. We are abolishing this thing, and I'm sorry to say this. You come there, you ring the bell, you read, forward test, grace, you have a speaker, how the people will fall asleep when the speaker is talking, unless, of course, they are extremely interesting speakers. After that, vote of thanks, ring the bell, you go home. We want to make it variable. We want to make it fun. And you are very lucky, Mr. President. You are starting from, from an area whereby you don't have baggage. Baggage is that you don't have the papers you have to follow from the past. So as membership chair, I'll be able to, as much as possible, support you and see how best we can work with you to create that flexibility, to create more members. Of course, you need members, and even go further than that. Now, the foundation, you have to start thinking, now you're a fully fledged club, what can you do within your community? There's so many needs. And I can tell you, when I'm still serving as the chair of the district emergency team, we realize the needs, they're enormous. You would not believe it. And even what we do as Rotarians is just a little scratch on the surface. So wherever we are, there's so much that we can do. Let me finish by just talking about for new members. And I believe there are many new members. What's expected of you? Pay your dues. It's very important. When you join the family of Rotary, if you want your club to succeed, support it by paying your dues. And of course, in case you don't know, you can stagger your dues. You don't have to pay all the amount at one point. You can stagger it so that you can pay monthly, as the club can and the treasurer can look at the best way to make sure that nobody is too much pressure on one point. As long as within the year you pay all the dues. Support your club activities. That is very important. You can't say you're a Rotarian if you're not involved. You must make your hearts dirty. And even if you're not available today and they have a project visit, it's okay, but you cannot not be available all the time. And now I have the pleasure to introduce our district governor to come and give us the key address. The district governor, your team, is the CEO of The Collective, an interactive ad agency with 27 years experience in advertising, media research, and content production. He is a board member of WWF Kenya, the chairman of the Advertising Standards Board, a past president of Pan-African Media Research Organization, and a member of the Oversight Committee of KARF, Kenya Audience Research Foundation. He's the district governor of this year, 2019-2020, on the panel for 11 years, as well as the chief judge of the Marketing Society of Kenya, MSK, Gala Awards, in the year 2015. He was granted the MSK Marketing Warrior Award in 2010 and has served as a judge for the top 40 out of 40 women and the top out of 40 men in Kenya. He is also a columnist for the Business Diary, covering topics in marketing, having served on the panel for 11 years, as well as the Chief Judge of the Marketing Society of Kenya Gala Awards in 2019. So, fellow Rotarians, please raise up and give a hand to welcome our DG Jotin.
Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you very much for that introduction, Dr. Joe. In fact, when you're reading it, sometimes I'm wondering if it's the same person. But really appreciate that introduction. The MC, Francis, thank you for for presiding over this ceremony very well today. And it's indeed a pleasure to meet you. And we've met before, I'm sure, but it was nice to finally engage. To the Charter President, Aggrey, you've got a wonderful club here, and we know that you're going to do extremely well. To the DGSR, I am completely indebted to you, and as you take on your new role as Assistant Governor, you can certainly count on my support. And as we were talking earlier, I'll be coming back to support some of your clubs, working with you to motivate and inspire. Dr. Joe, you're not only the district membership chair, but you're also the chair for the Emergency Response Committee, and you've done an amazing job. Hasn't he done an amazing job? More than 25 million shillings raised, clubs activated across the district, a tremendous amount of media coverage, and getting Rotary to do what Rotary is good at, supporting communities in times of need. So thank you so much, Dr. Joe, for that. And of course, one of the things too that, one of the numbers that has not been talked about is the total number of clubs that have been created this year, right? So we're talking about Rotary clubs, Rotaract clubs, and Interact clubs. Can anybody guess the number? I'm sure even Dr. Joe doesn't know that number. That's 58 new clubs in this year alone. So Dr. Joe, you've got a wonderful team, and I can see that you're beefing up the team for Patrick Obath's year, so really looking forward to that, and you have my fullest support, and I truly am indebted to you. President Robert Tharao, thank you so much once again for making this club happen. And I know when we started talking about it, it sounded like like a dream, like something that would happen maybe in the following year, but you've very quickly been able to make this happen. So I thank you so much for that. And I know we're counting down the days. It's not just 4 days, it's actually 3 days and a night. We're always looking at the time. It's like, okay, yeah, can it? I wake up every morning and I say, isn't it here yet? And of course PE, Mercy. Yes, we met many years ago. Yes, when we were working with Stedman, in the media monitoring division, and it's so good to see that you've grown well. and I'm looking forward to your leadership, to your leadership, right? And I'd really love to. I know you'll do extremely well. So it was interesting. We were starting earlier, and we were talking about the loyal toast, right? And the toast to the president, right? And when I was becoming club president, the president before me was a guy called Alois Nderi. Alois, I think, comes from the same place that Dr. Joe comes from. Comes from a place called Nyeri. Am I right? Yes. And in Nyeri, there's something called mother tongue interference. So he used to stand up and say, could the Rotarians please stand up for the royal toast? I had never paid any attention to that until I became president. So when I was doing my speech, like Aggrey was doing now, and I was saying, can you stand up for that? So I was like, is it loyal or royal? So I didn't know, so I just said royal toast, right? Okay, nobody seemed to notice, so I went and did some research. I said, let me find out. And you know, when I did my research, do you know what I found out? You know what I found out? I actually found out that that in the beginning, right, when we were still kingdoms, right, when, you know, especially in Europe, that when a group came together, they needed to show that they were in support of the kingdom and that they were not a subversive group. So they had to make a toast to the king or the royalty. And so at that time, it was a royal toast. And that's not a shrub, right? It was a royal toast. And then as the national nation states were invented, starting from France and then moving on to the other European nations and across the world, the kingdoms reduced, and now we started to have leaders that were more administrative leaders, presidents, prime ministers, and the like. So it stopped being a toast to the royalty. It started being a toast to the leaders. So then it became a loyal toast, right? So you can actually say royal or loyal, right? so even the guys from Nyeri will never get it wrong. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, but past District Governor Eric Kimani, he told me two things. A couple of years ago, he told me two things. The first thing he told me was that in Lavington, right, that we could have 3 clubs in Lavington. At that time, there was no Rotary clubs in Lavington. I was a member of Nairobi East. And he says, Joe, I think you could, if you formed a club in Lavington, you could actually eventually have 3 clubs. It's such a good catchment area. Right, so we started off with the Rotary Club of Nairobi Lavington. Soon after that, we got Lavington Gioni. And about 10 days ago, less than 10 days ago, we got the Lavington Echo Rotary Club. So we finally got 3 clubs in Lavington. But the other thing that he told me at that time was that, Joe, you can be district governor. And I'm happy to say that PDG Eric, that indeed that also came to pass. So Eric has had a vision and wonderful ideas. And at that time when he mentioned it to me, I didn't know, I didn't believe it. But I'm so happy that I've had this opportunity to lead the district this year. Amid tough times, but the support that Rotarians have been able to show to the entire district leadership has been amazing. And I think we've pretty much come through shining. Mike Eldon was my mentor. And apparently he was also Joe's mentor. And he's been a mentor for many people. And one of the things that Mike told me was to build emotional intelligence. That it's more about the relationships that you build rather than just the tasks. If you're focused more on the tasks, you'll make many enemies. You'll step on people's toes, And the funniest thing, the worst thing, is that when you think about it down the road, many years down the road, the things that you'll remember will not necessarily be the things that you did, but it'll be the relationships that you created. And if you leave a span, or if you leave a whole trail of bad relationships, that's what will remain with you. So Mike Eldon told me about emotional intelligence and how to spend time building relationships if we wanted to achieve the things that we want to achieve. So one of the things that when I became governor, I thought about was that I wanted to spend time listening. I wanted to spend time listening to the Rotarians. I wanted to spend time listening to the club presidents. And when the training team was putting together the pre-pets session, and they asked me, so Governor, what do you want to do with the pre-pets? This is the training before the pets training. I said, I'd love to just spend time listening to the presidents. If we could just go in there, have 2-hour session, and I just spend time listening to them. But for cultural reasons, and for the way that we organize in this part of the world, it was important to also do a bit of talking. So we managed to create a balance. We had a bit of play, we had a bit of talking, and then we spent the rest of the time listening to the presidents. And it was so good because we started to understand some of the solutions that we eventually implemented this year. We listened to them very closely because they also knew what was happening in their clubs. And then listening also was such an important thing because, you know, do you know how it is when, you know, you're a member of many boards, you're working in a very busy environment, and maybe you're running your own company. You can be in meetings the whole day. You know, and so when you think about some of the, you know, maybe James Mwangi, the CEO of Equity Bank, you know, Jeremy Awori, the CEO of ABSA, Patrick Obath, the chairman of Standard Chartered Bank, and now the district governor, incoming district governor for our district. You know, you think about them and you say, these guys are always so busy. They're sitting in meetings through and through. You try to call them, they're not going to necessarily pick up your call. You send them an email, you won't get an email back. But I read an article about the CEO of KLM. And it was so interesting. Social media had just started. So people were doing a lot of tweeting, a lot of Facebook, and everything else. And complaints could easily come and ruin your company's fortunes. When somebody starts to complain about your brand, and then everybody takes it up, and then they behave like Kenyans on Twitter. You know, Kenyans on Twitter can be quite severe, very harsh. And so a complaint came out from somebody who was at the Schiphol airport in Amsterdam. And so he sends a tweet and he complains about something, right? So then, of course, there's a little bit of a murmur, and you start to see this thing growing on social media. And when this guy got into his plane to leave to his next destination, the CEO of KLM came into the plane holding up a placard with a guy's name on it, with his call name or his Twitter handle, saying, if this is your Twitter handle, please come and see me. And so the guy came. He was, you know, they had a small conversation. He eventually was given free tickets to different parts of the world, and that kind of thing, as a way of saying sorry for the challenges. And this guy eventually ended up being an ambassador for, you know, some kind of social media ambassador for KLM. But the thing that struck me the most there was that the availability of the CEO to take care of the things that are most important in his business. It's not the equipment, it's not the planes, it's not the staff, it's not the ground crew, but it's the customers. And he was available for the customers. And so that's one story that has inspired me and inspired me tremendously in my forms of leadership. Keep the door open, keep the channels of communication open, respond, and be supportive. The other story, of course, is the Hawthorne effect. Have you ever heard of the Hawthorne effect? So they talk about it in MBAs a lot. The Hawthorne effect is now, there was a time when they were carrying out an experiment in a factory. And what they wanted to do was they wanted to see how they could improve the productivity of the night team, right? The night shift. Because it was clear from the data that the night shift was less productive than the day shift. So they said, what can we do to increase the productivity? So on the first night, they increased the intensity of the lights. Right? So the night team came in, they did their work, and the next day when the guys came and looked at the data, the productivity had gone up, indeed. So they said, okay, let's do a test case, let's try something different. Let's reduce the intensity of the lights and see what happens. And so they reduced the intensity of the lights. And when they came back and they looked at the data, after the team had worked the following night, do you know what they found? The productivity had gone up even higher. Right? So then they started to realize, okay, maybe our experiment, we were trying to see if the light intensity has something to do with productivity. But the experiment eventually showed that when you pay attention to your staff, they actually increase their productivity. Right? So that was another thing that inspired me. That if you pay attention to your team, if you pay attention to the presidents, you pay attention to the Rotarians, productivity and performance will increase. So we started off by spending a lot of time listening, and we built a strategic planning committee. This strategic planning committee was made up of Rotarians who had experience, a tremendous amount of experience. We spent about 6 months, 7 months actually, going over the data of the district. Some of these Rotarians also had specific expertise. They may not have been that old as Rotarians or long-serving as Rotarians, but they had some specific expertise. And so we spent time listening to what the presidents, the past governors, past assistant governors, and Rotarians were generally saying, to find out what they were truly interested in, where their passion lay, and what they were able to achieve. We also had the true set of advisors, including the past district governors like Eric Kimani, Geeta Manik, Bimal Kantaria, a very good friend and big supporter, Peter Mbui. We were listening to Jeff Bamford, the DG at the time, and people like Richard Omwela, the past district governors, and of course the vice governor as well. This is Teshome Kabede. And so we wanted to listen and just to truly understand what was going on before we set our plans. So when we eventually put our plans together 6 months later, these plans were really from the hearts of Rotarians. What we did, what we said we wanted to do was very much at the heart of the Rotarians. Because we were told that nothing happens if it doesn't happen in the clubs. It doesn't happen in the exco when we're sitting there, the 12 or so of us talking about Rotary matters and circulating the minutes. It actually happens in the Rotary clubs. So we then built an executive committee. And in the executive committee, you have the chairman is Leonard Ithao. He's a director of KRA, a past president of the Rotary Club of Karen, a past assistant governor. He has a tremendous amount of board experience, and he was able to bring a tremendous amount of professionalism to our exco. Board papers that are shared in advance, minutes that are carefully drafted and then sent to all the clubs and the presidents, throughout the district. But we wanted to have this executive committee, the first time our district had it, in order to build, number one, transparency, so that Rotarians can see how we're building, how we're making decisions. The second thing was accountability, that we can be accountable for the goals that we've set, supporting the Rotarians and the club presidents. And the third and most important thing was succession, that because the governor elect, the governor nominee, and now the governor nominee is a member of that team. So the ideas and the strategies that we craft, they're part of it. And they're not going to come in and throw the baby out with the bathwater. This executive committee has the chairman of the major committees, including membership, that Dr. Joe heads, the foundation, which is headed by Peter Mbui, public image, which is headed by Catherine Gengi, and innovations, which is a new committee, which is headed by Moses Kemibara. We've got the country chairman there that are representing the assistant governors, and of course we have the treasurer and the secretary. And so this team has really supported us, and it's just truly amazing when you look at the results. So far 21 Rotary clubs, 13 Rotaract clubs, and 24 Interact clubs have been formed this year. Right, and this is it's a tremendous result, and that accountability really being held by the membership team. We've seen over 700 new Rotarians, right? And there's still a few more clubs. There's about 3 more clubs we believe that we will charter before the end of this, before the 30th of June. Yeah, so in those 3 days and 1 night, Robert, 3 days and 1 night, we're hoping that we'll get those 3 clubs formed. And 2 new types of clubs. One is a corporate club. This is the largest club that was formed this year. The Rotary Club that was formed under Safaricom, the Rotary Club of Nairobi Connect. They chartered with 80 members. That's probably the biggest we've ever seen being chartered in our district. And then we also have the Echo Rotary Club. So the idea was born in around November last year, and finally the club was chartered just a few days ago. 2 new types of clubs, and that's what Dr. Joe is talking about. That's what DGE Patrick is talking about. That's what the president-elect of Rotary International, Holger Kanak, is talking about. New types of clubs and new types of experiences. In terms of foundation giving, we've matched about close to 100 new PHFs. And we thought it was important to get new PHFs, mainly because when somebody invests into Rotary, they tend to stay. When you give to the foundation, you tend to stay. It's like when you buy shares of a company. Maybe you buy shares of Corp Bank, right? One of the things that you'll do from there on is just watch how the numbers are doing. And we found that when Rotarians give to the foundation, they stay. So we've got about 100 PHFs that have been matched. Through the foundation, we've raised close to $300,000. And some of that was interrupted when COVID hit, and we started to see a tremendous amount of money going to the COVID fund, and that's just been at about $250,000. And so I think in all, we've got about $550,000 raised this year. In terms of the learning and development, we said we wanted to do world-class training, and indeed we've actually had world-class training this year. When we were training the club presidents, we got Julia Phelps, a sitting trustee from the Rotary Foundation, to come and help us train. We had David Alexander, Chief Communications Officer and General Manager of Rotary International. He also came to help us train. And we had Hisham El Bakri, internationally renowned motivational speaker from Egypt. They all came down and worked with a fantastic team of people who are the foremost HR and training professionals in this country, like Dr. Sally Gitoho, who just launched a book recently, Paul Kasimu, Chief HR Officer of Safaricom, Tom Shivo, Group HR Director of Housing Finance, and a host of other very skilled and qualified professionals. And this year, we've trained 1,349 Rotarians in the first 7 months. That was until January. From February on, Patrick starts to do his training. So if you want to look at what we've done in our year, it has generally been 1,349. That is basically 1 in every 2 Rotarians. This is the biggest reach that we've ever had. And it means that the inspiration and motivation is getting down to the clubs. You know, and so when you start to see the clubs performing well, it's also because that information has gotten down to them. In terms of partnerships, we wanted to have 6 partnerships. And we wanted to, be able to create these partnerships, because when you create partnerships with organizations that are influential, you sit across a table and you plan a project together and complete it successfully. That organization gets to know you really well. They know your values, they know your aspirations. The second thing is that you're able to build positive association, right? Because of those partnerships, and we wanted to build 6. And so far, just actually yesterday, we signed the 6th one with the WWF Kenya, but the others were with the Global Partners for Education, with the UN Environment Program, with the Toastmasters, and just this week with Gertrude's Children's Hospital and with Davis and Shercliffe. And you can see it's touching on health, it's touching on water, it's touching on education, it's touching on the environment, and quite a number of elements that are important to us as Rotary. And so we were quite pleased with what Amos Oluwachalunya, as the district partnership chairman, has been able to achieve, including Catherine Gengi and the team. And so one other thing that we managed to achieve was communication. And we launched the district magazine called The Timeline. And it is the first ever. First of all, let me ask, do you know how many districts there are in the world? District like ours? There's about 529 districts, all the way from Austria to Zimbabwe, you know, all over the world, in over 200 countries. District 9212 was the first district in the world to have a purely online district newsletter. And this is the Timeline. And the Timeline has had its 12 refreshes in the year. By the time we did the 12th one, I was like, whew, okay, we're done. You know, so we did our 12 refreshes for every month. We had over 250 articles published on the Timeline. And these articles came from you. These articles came from the Rotarians, talking about the wonderful work that they're doing, spreading inspiration and motivation to other Rotary clubs, and showing that we can do more. And so we've been able to achieve quite a bit. And all of these things, we've been keeping track of them. We've been motivating Rotarians. We've been motivating the teams so that we can achieve them. And these, like I said, these things didn't happen because of me. These things happened because of you, because of the work that you all put into it. And so when you think about it, you say to yourselves, what's the next step as club president? You know, and perhaps there's a few lessons that you can take from what we've learned this year as an executive committee. Start off by listening to your members. You know, what are their aspirations? What do they enjoy doing? You know, and what kind of members are you bringing in? Are you going to bring in members that will enjoy the camaraderie here? Or might those members be better in an older, more established club like the Rotary Club of Nairobi? You know, and I know that in the Rotary Club of Nairobi East, they call themselves the coolest club in town. You know, and so every time they got challenged because other clubs would come out and say that we're the coolest. So then they decided they were going to go up to Mount Kilimanjaro because it's very cold up there. So they could get more cool credentials. And then other clubs climbed the mountain as well. So then they decided they were going to do something to take this even further. And they recruited a refrigeration specialist. So now they're truly the coolest club. Anyway, but the whole idea is that within your clubs, and I wrote an article about this in the timeline, understanding the segmentation of your club members and the orientation of them in terms of, are they more socially driven, the network, building bigger networks and getting to know more people, or are they more service oriented, or are they somewhere in between? And that way it'll help you to start recruiting people that would come into your club and add value to the whole energy. Then plan. Put your plans together. And it's important to have those plans that are very clear so that everybody can then be able to support your vision. Right? Have them written down and talk about them at at your regular meetings. And be accountable. Be accountable for your time, for the time of your members, for the time of your board. And ensure that you actually do have those meetings and with the professionalism that is required, because everybody here is busy. Everyone here has got affairs that they're running, CEOs, senior executives in companies. So let's treat them with that kind of respect, and let's be accountable for the goals that we've set. And I can tell you that Aggrey, you do that, and you will be the club in the district. And you started off with 20 members. And with your craftiness, I'm sure that you'll be able to achieve great things. Your craftiness and your innovation. Oh no, let's not call it craftiness. Let's call it innovation. With your innovative ability, I'm sure that you'll be able to go really far. And I feel the energy in the room, and also in the virtually. But I can see that this club is destined to great heights under your leadership. It is destined to great heights under your leadership and under the leadership of the board and the future leadership. So we've got 4 more days, actually 3 days and a night. 3 days and a night we've got. And I'll be looking forward to handing over the heavy chain of office. In fact, I was looking forward to it so much that I have already shipped it to Patrick. That's why I'm not wearing it right now. So Patrick is holding on to it. And, so it's going to happen on the 29th of June. It's going to be a virtual event, and some of us will be in a room like this as well. And we wanted to break it up. We have Jennifer Jones. Jennifer Jones is a trustee of the Rotary Foundation. She's had a stellar career in Rotary. She's most likely going to be one of the first lady presidents of Rotary International. And she's the president's representative to our district conference. So she's going to be there on the 29th of June. So please mark it in your calendars from 2 o'clock. So then instead of having lots of speeches, we said, let's do something that would be interesting. And so we have a panel session where the incoming governor, Patrick Obath, Alex Nyaga as the governor nominee, and Azeb will be answering questions from Rotarians. And we'll have the district Rotaract representative and the district Rotaract representative elect as well there, so that we can talk about youth, innovation, and the future of Rotary in this part of the world. Thereafter, we are going to have the district awards, and we will see the clubs and the Rotary individual Rotarians that have done a great job, and Rotaractors and Interactors. This is the first time we've done these Sam or Warrior Awards, so it should be really exciting, and we're really looking forward to that. And then finally, we have Sheikh Mehta, the Rotary International President nominee. He'll be giving us his remarks. He's our guest speaker. So it's going to be a 2-hour program, right? It's a virtual conference, so please log in, right? Get your friends as well, even non-Rotarians to log in, potential Rotarians to log in, so that they can come and see, get to hear about Rotary from some of the Rotary leaders, both local and international. So, Mr. President, I know that you have exceptional leadership, and I can see that the trust that the members have placed in you. So I have no doubt in my mind that you will do an extremely, extremely good job. You have my number, so you can reach me anytime in case you need any kind of support and any kind of advice. Part of the listening is listening to your members, listening to one another, but also listen to the new governor, Patrick Obang, because he has built one of the most comprehensive strategic plan that our district has ever had. And this strategic plan speaks to the heart of Rotarians. And if you listen to him and his team, you will undoubtedly succeed. So may God bless the work of your hands, the vision in your mind, and the love in your heart. And may He bestow upon you, your family members, and your club members with good health, with good fortune, and abundant love. God bless you. Sorry? All right, so fellow Rotarians, you guys have been chartered since the 4th of June, so I know you've been wearing your pins. I looked around, I could see people wearing their pins. But I think we'll still, just for the ceremony, we will pin, or should I say, we will not pin. We will place the pins on the lapels of the Rotarians. So may I ask all the Rotarians to please come forward so that we may conclude this part of the ceremony. All right, okay, so maybe we can have about 2 lines, have another line in the front. Have another line in the front, Mercy. Okay, yeah. So then you can have a bit of space, right? All right, so fellow Rotarians, it's such a pleasure to be a charter member. I'm also a charter member of a Rotary Club, and it's one of the most special things. And the pin that I was given on that day will always remain in a special place. So you all know that Rotary is made up of 1.2 million Rotarians from across the world. And your membership into this club proves that your introducers believe that you'll be good Rotarians. And good Rotarians are people who attend meetings, give to the foundation, bring their friends to join Rotary, support the president and the board of the club. And so this pin will symbolize your membership into this Rotary Club, the Rotary Club of Stoni Athi, but it will also symbolize your membership into Rotary International, which means that if you travel to any other country, any other town, and you find a Rotary Club, they will welcome you with open arms. I'm very happy to welcome you. So you're a member of Rotary International, you're a member of all these 35,000 clubs across the world. So, so then it gives me great pleasure to give you the badge of your membership And I'm going to ask some of the senior members in the team with me today to actually place these lapels on your garments. Okay. Oh yes. So ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the newest Rotarians in the whole wide world. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the newest Rotarians in the whole wide world. Okay? No, it's okay.
To the back, a little slightly behind.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I hope you picked a point or two from the speeches. A lot of insights, At least I picked a couple. So for those of you who did not pick anything, check with me later. I know, Aggrey, you'll need this. To our district governor, Jotin, I know you have a couple of days and nights. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I was just listening to what you're saying about partnership, membership, foundation, giving, and even the communication. And I can see why it is so easy for you to talk about it, because it's so clear that you are doing it. Yeah, so at the tail end of your term, it's so easy to tell who was working if you can clearly and eloquently talk about the points and what happened during your year. So thank you for serving. I liked a couple of points, and I'll just mention one. I mentioned two: emotional intelligence, and I think that's so important for us, that we're able to control how we respond, so that we can be able to have relationships way beyond, way beyond our term in leadership. And the second one, which I thought was very important, is to pay attention to our team and productivity increases. The amazing thing is, as you are talking about those points, yes, you're addressing us as Rotarians, but truly speaking, the points, we will also implement them in our workplaces. So I hope you are able to pick some. I have so many more that I think we need to seriously consider and make sure we implement in the club. For us to be great, it's the small little things that we have to fix, and fix them well, so that when the next generation comes up, they can proudly say, Aggrey, Charter President, you did something, and we are benefiting from it as a community and also as individuals. Wonderful. I want to call upon Rotarian John Mwangi, but before I do that, please don't forget, and Harriet, I like what you're doing, don't forget our folded arms exercise. There's going to be discomfort. You know, when our DG speaks, it looks like it's going to be easy, but it's not going to be easy. There has to be sacrifices, and those sacrifices will mean our families are affected, our work is affected, but positively. So when we feel that little pain, don't run away from it. Let's embrace it and grow with it, because I think, really, truly speaking, and we know ourselves, we've agreed that the difference we want to make is not just within our family, but beyond. And we can only do that through Rotary. Over to you, Rotarian John.
Thank you. So I've been given the task of it's one of the most interesting parts of the evening. And this evening, we want to do some very interesting exercise. It was a pleasure to hear about what guys do for fun, and it's not always about being serious. So I want to start with the fine Rotarian ladies who have been supporting us. Please come forth with the raffles, and we shall have a quick auction. So due to time, and we know those who are online, we are sorry you might miss, but if you are in the Zoom link, you can post any matching amount to topple off whoever from the room will want to take any of our auction things. First, I want to give a big appreciation to all those Rotarians and friends of Rotary who supported by any means, and I would like to start off by Fruity Yummies. That is one of the raffle gifts to be given. There's a cake made by one of Rotarian, Judith. We are very much appreciative of those who have tried and tested it. I kid you guys not. I will leave it for the raffle. We also have a medical annual checkup from Halisi Hospital, and that we want to give a big thank you to Dr. Njeri, who's amongst us. We have some adult alcoholic beverages from different companies. I can see the big smiles in the room, which is okay. We have Beats by WB. This is a makeover. I think the ladies in the room will identify with it. For the gentlemen, I am not too sure, but you'd be lucky to get your wife to do one of those with Beats by WB. We also have, I've talked about the quality health check here. We have Jeff Hamilton. They have given out an executive home wash worth 25,000. My God. My God, guys, for those who are planning to clean up their house, this is the opportunity. First, if you didn't buy a raffle ticket, I'm very sorry. This is for all those who participated and supported us. And to top it off, the president of Rotary Club of Stoni Athi has given out a 1,200, right? Am I right? Tank for all those of us in this area of the world who suffer due to hard water issues. So we shall start by, there is one more. We cannot forget our hosts, Hilton Garden. They've given out a voucher for lunch for 2. So all those who are planning to have a specific dating away from home, that's a big, big opportunity. So we shall start by the raffles, and then we shall do a quick auction. So for the auction, the team has chosen to have the Ram 8-year-old. Yes, that's the bottle. No, this other one. Oh, okay, the camera will turn. Don't break. That's the Nederberg wine. That's Nederberg wine, which is South Africa's most awarded wine. We have a Bacardi 8-year-old matured wine, and we decided to also auction the water tank, because we know these parts of the world how important it is. So we shall auction after we do the raffle. So for the first raffle, we want to pick, and we shall have first, just mix it up. You can give somebody to pick in the crowd. This we shall give cakes, the cake from Judith. So you can take it to him, he picks. Let him pick. Just pick one. What does it read? Sorry? Okay. Okay, they shall check and tell us who 149 is. Second is Nederberg wine. We also have a second bottle of Nederberg wine. And this one you can give, you can give somebody to pick quickly so that we can get to know who has won. So there were 2 bottles. One will be auctioned and one will be won in the raffle. James Mwangi, 149. So that James has won the cake from Judith. Cool. So please just document it.
35 euro.
35 yellow. Just read the name, Wanjiri, who is on.
Ticket number 35.
Yes, the name is. Okay, they're just confirming. The third raffle ticket will be winning somebody an annual medical checkup from Halisi Hospital, courtesy of Dr. Njeri, Rotarian Dr. Njeri. Guys, please, I'm guided by whether to put Rotarian Dr. Njeri. I think in this presence, I stand guided. Is it okay? Okay. Dr. Rotarian Njeri. So the story that was told about Royal and Loyal, please bear with me, guys. Please bear with me.
Ticket number 90.
Ticket number 90.
For the health checkup.
For the health checkup. With us, we'll also have 35. Oh, wine. Wine.
The 8-year-old.
No, the wine. She won wine. Okay. Oh, yeah. And the third one was medical care. So the fourth one is a 12-year-old single malt whiskey from Scotland, the land of John Dewars. The whiskey is called Aberfeldy. I will tell you the story about Aberfeldy later on. So give somebody to pick for the Aberfeldy 12-year-old whiskey.
Ticket number 152.
Guys, 152 is I can see the gentlemen in the room looking at all their numbers and praying to everybody they can pray to. That's very good, guys. Okay? Yes. This one there. So the Abafeldi is ticket number 152. Please somebody document it somewhere. 152, yellow, and the name is there. I shall not read the name, but it shall be read out later. And we shall also post these on our Facebook page. For those who are not following us, it is the freshest page. The freshest page. So, and we also have the freshest Instagram page. I think all those who are online, you'll see it at the bottom of the screen. Thank you, guys. The next one is for the ladies and for the gentlemen who want to make it good to their ladies. There is makeup by Beats by WB, courtesy of Wanjeri. I kid you not, worth 3,000 shillings. For the men who are in this room, your shave is up to 500 shillings. Please imagine.
Ticket number 110.
Ticket number 110 wins the makeup. Last but not least, we want to give out some fruity yummy jam, fruity yummies jam, courtesy of Waringa. It's valued at 2,000 shillings. It comes in different health flavors of pineapple and marmalade and all those nice things. For your kids, for breakfast, guys, we want to give that out. We still also do have the Jeff Hamilton voucher.
Ticket number 147 for the fruity yummy.
For the fruity yummy.
147 for the fruity yummies. Blue, they're both blue.
Okay. So guys, please record that. And for the fruity yummies. Now, I think this one is something, having bought myself a couple of tickets and for my family members. Okay. For my family members, and I hope they are tuned into Facebook Live, and we bought tickets. The Jeff Hamilton Home Thorough Wash. And when I say my family members, I hope she's looking at me and not thinking that our house is dirty. It is just that I am saying this out of courtesy that it is worth 25,000 Kenya shillings. So when I say, I hope my ticket number shall win it, I hope my ticket number shall win it. So please, somebody pick this final ticket so that we can go to the auction. Who is going to pick this ticket? Drum roll, guys, drum rolls, worth 25,000 Kenya shillings. A thorough home wash. Guys, this, she's trembling. She's trembling.
Ticket number 85. Ticket number? 85.
Ticket number 85. It's who? Oh. Your friend, Gloria. Gloria, if you're tuned in on Facebook Live or you're on the Zoom party with us, congratulations. You've gotten yourself a 25,000 watt. So we shall quickly go through. Let me just get this here. The first auction is Ram from Bacardi Martini family. It is reserved for over 8 years, so all those can see it. Its actual price is close to 3,500, but because guys were pressed for time, our first asking price as an auction. And remember, everything you're doing for this auction today is going into the newly formed, the freshest Rotary Club International. Guys, sorry, I don't think you guys heard me. Sorry, wait, hold on. The newly formed, the freshest Rotary Club International. As of this second, I think we are the freshest ones. What do you guys think? Thanks, guys. So with 5,000 Kenya shillings, who is going to go with this? We are not going to have any other discussion. 8-year matured, and guys, I trust you, believe me, having worked with the Bacardi team, this is a premium rum, close to any matured drink ever. 5,000 shillings, we want to close this bidding. We don't have so much time, guys. We are almost, the curfew hours are just approaching. Quickly, 5,000, 5,000. Guys on Zoom, you can just click and say, I want to take it for 5,000. I know Katie Simba down over in Sudan is just salivating, and thanks, Katie, for supporting us from Sudan. Anybody, just check the Zoom. Is there anybody asking for the Bacardi? For the Bacardi? As we wait, yes? There's, at 5,000? Okay, Major Bokeh has already wanted to take it at 5,000. Going once, going once, going once, going once, going. Sorry, you're waving your hand? Oh, sorry, it's the cameraman guy. Sorry, it's the cameraman guy. Okay, then we shall close it at that because of time. I hope you guys don't feel very much left out. The second one is a gift pack from Qual Distel. Please, guys, who's taking it down? Major Bokeh at 5,000 Kenya shillings. Before he takes it, the Zoom team, is there anybody who has requested whether they can take it above 5,000? Just check the charts. Check the charts as we go to the next one. 5,000 for those who are watching from Zoom or Facebook Live. At 5,000, Major Bokeh wants to walk away with it. At 3,500, sorry. Katie Simba wants to take it for the week. At how much? Oh, okay. Okay, that's nice, guys. Katie Simba from Khartoum, Katie Simba. I remember Major Bokeh introduced her and gave such an outstanding introduction about how she likes very fine. She loves it. Lovely lady that is. For those who know their whiskey, people who love whiskey are very detailed people. So as we wait for anybody to topple off Katie Simba, I want to give the wine. It's worth 3,500. It comes with 2 glasses, wine glasses, and it also has a wine opener at 3,500. You shall not get any offer above that. This is courtesy of Qual Distel, one of the brand managers who's a friend of Rotary called Wangaren Jiba, shared it with us, and we shall also, as a Rotary Club, give our appreciation to her later on through the president. 3,500? 3,500? 4,000. So you want to go with the 2 bottles of wine, the red wine and the white wine. 4,000. That's a lady who knows her wine. South Africa's most awarded wine from Nedeberg. 4,000. 4,000. Gentlemen, you can also buy for your wives, and it is coming in a big, nice, lovely gift box. I'm sure those who are online are seeing the images. For those who are in the room, you can have a look at it. 4,000, guys, going once. Going once. Anybody on Zoom who has asked for anything above that? Wanjeri is checking. 4,000. Going twice. 4,000 going. Anybody from Zoom? Guys, our technical team. As we check on Zoom results, because we are a very open and transparent Rotary team, we will go to the last and final one, which is 1,200 liter capacity of a water tank, courtesy of the president of the freshest club. And when I say the freshest club, remember, somebody will want to topple us over the freshest title. You heard about the coolest club, so we are the freshest club. And guys, we have to live by that title. We cannot sit down here thinking that we are the freshest club and we don't look the freshest people. So the water tank, Prezo got it for us at 5,000. Where I come from, when the lead gives something as a gift, and Bokeh gave us the story about where he comes from, and he gave out wine, and there was the water, and it's a nice story. You can never take a gift at what you're being given to, at that amount. So at 5,000, 1,200 liter capacity of a water tank, courtesy of the president. Anybody going above 5,000? Sorry, I can't hear you at the back. Oh, the gentleman over there. Yeah. Sorry, Masharia? Yeah, it's you. Did you say anything about 5,000? Oh, okay. Guys, 5,000 for a water tank, capacity of 1,200, courtesy of our president. Yes, thank you. Sorry? 6,000. That's a very serious guy. Bokeh, you're talking about having some issues. No, in the new place. Okay. Katie Simba has been displaced. It's at 57 now from Bokeh. He's still. Katie Simba 6,000. Okay, and 6,000. Okay. Water tank, guys, at 6,000. Water tank at 6,000. Whiskey at 6,000. Wine at 4,000. Guys, quick, we just want to close this right now so that we go to the next order. Guys, 6,000 for the water tank, 6,000 for the bottle of matured Bacardi, and 4,000 for the wine. Guys, any last bid before we close, because there is the next agenda? Tapping once. Tapping twice. Bouquet. So Major Bouquet has stepped down, and we shall give it to Madam Katie Simba, and we shall give the water tank to Brian, and we shall give the wine to Madam Washington. So a round of applause to each and everybody who participated. Thank you. Guys, please take the notes. So, having said that, it was an honor standing here, and I would like now to go to the next agenda line item, and this will be done very fast. When I was approached about Rotary, I think it was 2 years ago, thereabout, by Major Bouquet, I came in as a friend of Rotary, and then I was approached, I think, by Langata. I can't remember the network that you had. And one of the things I remember saying during that day was that I work for a company that has a history of 157 years old. So when you have a network and a group of a family that has a rich heritage, then you're more inclined to being steered towards it. One of the things that I appreciate about Rotary, and it is something that is deep down rooted in me, is about service above self. So I remember when the president asked me, what do you think about Rotary? And we gave our feedback, because to many out there, this international set family, if I may call it a family, looks like a mystic kind of association. But the more we dispel it, the more we serve people, the more we interact, the more we network, then we keep breaking those mystical kind of thoughts out there. So I've been given the privilege to give out some gifts, but I found it not within my capacity to do that. So all I shall do during this moment is to talk the gifts that we're giving out, and I shall invite the president of the freshest club internationally, Rotary Club of Stoni Athi. Please come forth. You shall give out the gifts, and he shall be accompanied by the PE of the freshest club. So the first gift, where the could we have some very strong gentlemen to bring those two? Yes. Masharia, when I say strong gentlemen, this is the moment that you stand up and show us that you're strong, and the two packs behind. You see how Bouquet shows that he's the strong guy now. So it's only worth crafting or giving somebody something worth that has been crafted in history due to their service. Those who have left lasting prints, and those who shall forever be ingrained in Rotary for what they've done. So we shall start by appreciating, I do not know how to call him, so I shall refer. I have been informed, and I stand guided. He is still the president. So we shall appreciate Rotarian President Robert Tharau with a painting handcrafted by renowned artist Arthur Odhiambo. The reason it was done is because you have left a print behind, and the artist who did it is renowned, not just in Kenya, internationally. So we appreciate you, and I shall leave it.
Sasa Jumi, lazima nifungue zawadi yako.
Thank you, guys. Okay. Waringa, there's something you have that you're supposed to. Waringa. SAA. There's something you are supposed to gifting. Okay, we'll. Okay. So the second person we want to honor and gift, it's not about the gifting, it's more of honoring those front runners. For new members like me, there are people who are close to me. So the second person, and this is not by choice or default, we would like to appreciate, and this is something very interesting that I had yesterday. He said, I do not like to be called retired. So with all protocol observed and keeping my distance, sorry, because I responded by saying once military, always military. So I would like to usher in Major Bokeh, not retired. And for Major Bokeh, he told a story about his culture. And one thing that I appreciate about Major Bokeh is he's given so much over and above. So for this one, you will know who chose for you this gift. It is a 16-year-old Aberfeldy single malt. The person who chose for you this gift says that is a 16-year-old. It's not even in there. That is his gift. 16-year-old. The person who chose for you that gift called the supplier and said, I need a drink worth the title of a major. But she said retired. She said retired, and so I shall say major. And we do appreciate everything you've done. And as you proceed forth, we appreciate. Last but not least, we could not get a gift worth gifting this person. He is a very eloquent person, and his titles and his accolades are beyond and above. It was of or is it to listen to him talk. He is more than a marketer. He is more than a PR guy. He's running businesses. He's in WWF. This guy, we struggled getting him a gift. So we decided we shall get him an original painting from Arthur Biambo. And that's the most we could give him. I cannot even introduce him. So in my capacity, all protocol observed, I shall give it to Prezo to invite the DG. Thank you. And from here, I will take it back after they finish. So please introduce.
DG, welcome. Like to open it? Okay. Major, please present. Okay. Oh, look at that. It's amazing.
What a wonderful frame. Oh, we're posing a picture? Oh, fantastic. This is wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah, thank you. That was the gifting session. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Prezo. Thanks, PE. So the next item on the agenda is, I will do it quickly. We want to give a vote of thanks. And I've been given the honor to introduce and bring forth Rotarian Charles Kado, who will give a vote of thanks. Karibu sana, Charles. Makofi tafadhali. Karibu sana.
Thank you. So, with all the excitements during such a solemn occasion, I want to, number one, whatever I witnessed here, Prezo, I normally witness them during, a wedding. In my community, when somebody has established a new home. So the first very big thank you goes to God. And we really want to honor him for giving us the strength to witness such a solemn occasion where we have taken vows. And to God we say thank you. The other thank you goes to us for braving the COVID-19 regulations and coming here. So a very, very big thank you to all of us. And for a child, once you appreciate God, the next thank you goes to who? Goes actually the parents. You guys are good. And Robert, we want to appreciate you. The Sokimau Club has been great. And on behalf of these people, we really want to thank you. You have brought us wonderful speakers. You have brought us teams that have worked with us. You have brought us things that we have seen here for the first time, the gong and the gavel. We really want to say a big, big thank you. To Hilton Garden Inn for providing us this hall. To us, it's a big thank you. Those who are given various duties, like the ushers, thank you. Our online guests, and actually I should have also thanked them much earlier. Those who have been with us throughout, thank you to witness this solemn occasion. And to the Rotarians now, I think service to humanity is service to who? Is service to God. And I'm sure where God is, he's smiling at us. So congratulations and thank you. Our sponsors, they are those very invisible hands. They do quite a lot. They make the occasion a success. And to these people who contributed to this occasion being a great success, we want to say thank you. I'll mention them by name. We have President Aggrey. Those gifts were marvelous. Thank you very much. Ken Munga. Is Ken Munga here? Okay. Wherever he is, thank you. I hope I pronounce it well. Fruity Yummies. Was that Waringa's? Yeah. Thank you very much, Waringa. Halisi Hospital, Daktaris, thank you. We honor your contribution. Bids by WB, thank you. We have somebody known as Bacardi Martini. Who is that? So anyway, thank you. And the board members who are paraded here, we saw all of them, and that is leadership. When we give ourselves to serve humanity, as I've said, and you serve a newly built home like ours today,
we really want to say a big, big thank you. And now to the club members, I began with you. Again, I want to close with you. This is a great step, a great move, a commitment, and without you, we would not have built this home. And for being the newly erected home, you know, in my community, I would have been carrying a cock. For some, I'm seeing Trezo putting a spear. For all of us, and for dedicating ourselves to serve humanity, why don't we just give one round of applause as we say a big thank you. So thank you, and thank you. And to our guests, I mentioned there, I did say thank you through our father. Robert, again, thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Rotarian Charles Kado. And as we conclude, I just want to call upon our newly chartered president. Kindly come and give us our final toast. Very honored, very, very honored to call on you as a chartered president. I hope you'll get used to the word chartered and president together right next to your name.
Thank you all. Do we stand for the final toast? Great. Today we have the elements. I'm sure we all have charged glasses, so we can get them. Ready? I'm yearning to use this. Okay, let's lift them up. I'd say coupled with the Rotary Club of Lavington, Rotary Club of Syokimau, Rotary Club of Nairobi East, to Rotary the world over. Who takes it from here? Yeah.
Thank you so much. Dinner will be served, so kindly just and patiently whet your appetites. Thank you so much.